Hi, welcome to another episode of the Sankofa Pan-African series. In this episode, we'll be talking to Mirelle Leong Akong, an award-winning social entrepreneur, author, and founder of a series of web communities that highlight the beauty of natural hair while exposing the reality of unequal hair rights. I bet very few of us have actually stopped to think about the connection between our hair and racial equality. And our guest today would try and help us to understand more some of the dynamics around hair politics surrounding our natural hair, and the things like even the natural hair movement. What is it? Let's start by you telling us a bit about your background growing up.
I grew up in Suriname, South America. That's a small country in the middle of the Guyanas. So I think it has the the biggest tropical forest still left on the planet. So it's a really
Bigger
small
than
country.
Amazon?
Yes. That's where I
Wow,
am.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And it's a small country, only 600,000 people, but it's a beautiful country. We have our politic issues, you know how things go. But and it's well, when you look at the country now, it's not doing as well as it should. There's a lot of poverty, more than I'm used to when I grew up. But you know how it is. You know, you're from Nigeria. We're trying to do our best. Everybody tries to do their part. So yeah.
Uh, what about your education? What was it like going to school in Suriname?
Education system when I was here in school was really a great education system. It was free for people who couldn't afford it, and you know, just a small allowance for people who couldn't. I've been here at elementary school, high school, and then I went to Holland, high school and college, and then I went to Holland to do the University of Amsterdam, and I studied computer science, information systems. So that's my education path, you know, of which I'm great thankful in every way, because also my parents, my dad, he financed my education. I didn't have any student loans or anything. I didn't have to do anything. My dad, he provided, just if you wanted to study, he was going to provide. He was going to pay for it, and that's what he did. So up until today, for the rest of my life, I'm gonna be thankful for to him, you know, that I was allowed this great education that I had.
Can you tell us a bit then about how you came to be on this path you're on, you know, with the natural hair movement? How did it all start?
Okay, so it all started because actually my hair started to fall out when I was relaxing my hair. And but when I look back, I've always loved natural hair. I went to the barber at the age of 6, maybe 7, I think 6 years. I just went to the barber and had my braids cut into an afro because I was looking at Michael Jackson and all of these people on TV, and I just wanted an afro. My mom nearly fainted, but ever since then I had a fro. I can remember when I first saw cornrows, when I loved cornrows, but I didn't want anyone to touch my hair, so I never had cornrows back then. I I started in when I was in the university, my first boyfriend, I started as dreadlocks while I had relaxed hair, you know. So when I look back, I've always loved natural hair. I just didn't know what to do with my own hair. I was, you know, I was a grown up, I was an adult. So I thought that relaxing your hair, straightening your hair was the only way. And that's the reason that I really straightened my hair until my hair started breaking. Then I was like, I can't do this any longer. Why am I doing this? And that's when the process started. Like, I need to find something else because I refuse to believe that there weren't representative hairstyles that weren't allowed in the workplace. I refuse to believe that. I was like, there's got to be hairstyles that you can wear in the workplace. And actually, that's how my journey began when I consciously went back natural.
So, what is the natural hair movement?
The natural hair movement, when I think about it, the natural hair movement actually, I think really started, I don't know about Africa, I'm talking about America. It really started, I think, if you ask me, in the 60s, you know, with the Afro. And although it was by the civil rights movement, where they were basically rejecting the European features for our people, and they were like, we got to respect, we got to respect our own features and what we have. You know, the Afro was the first natural hairstyle that dominated the fashion world. You realize that, right? I mean, people take it for granted, but it was the only and one and only first and one and only hairstyle that really dominated the fashion world. Everybody wanted to
And it
have an
wasn't just
Afro.
black people alone. All races wanted to do that afro.
You know, you still have this the bush doctor. People called him the bush doctor because he had this white woman who he, you know, who had straight hair, and he did her hair into an afro. He was called the bush doctor because of that famous thing that he did. So yeah, you had a Jew fro, white people wearing a fro. I even had an aunt, a white woman who was married to my uncle. She had a wig. She had an afro wig. So that's basically, I think, where the natural hair movement started. When you look back, it started in the 60s. And then when people had, you know, some of the civil rights, the relaxer was invented. So black women went back to work and massively started relaxing their hair. And but then in the 80s, when we had a slapback because so many of us had hair loss, you know, our hair starting breaking massively, then you saw braids coming into the world, you know, entering the workplace. And there was this famous lawsuit in the 80s where of the Marriott Hotel, where this woman, she was first fired, but she won a lawsuit against Marriott because she wanted to wear her braids, and braids were not allowed. They were too ethnic. So she won her lawsuit because, you know, and she said she had straightened her hair broke, and that's why she wore braids. So that's the story of so many of us. And then the natural hair movement that we see now is all based on that history. And that's because the internet allowed us to connect. You know, that's how going-natural.com, my website, started. You know, it allowed, the goal was to allow women on a natural hair journey to connect and support, you know, for products and information. And cruza.com, which is my Dutch website. I also published a book in the Netherlands for the first book about natural hair. So that's basically the natural hair movement that we see now, but we forget like that it started in the 60s. And we also forget to give credit to the hairstylist, to the natural hairstylist. And the natural hairstylists are basically the actually very important. They are the foundation of this movement. While everybody was trading and relaxing, including me, you know, they kept, you know, they kept their knowledge and basically our hair, you know, stylish and hip. The styles that you see now, you know, they all created so many impressive, incredible styles. So that's the natural hair movement that we see now, based on the 60s and what the natural hair stylists have put laid the foundation for.
Okay. So backtrack a bit. So the afro was the first almost universally popular hairstyle. So why did we go back to relaxing our hair when we'd had such a huge success with afros? Afros were
That's
not around.
That's a great question. My explanation would be the lack of styles. You know, we didn't have like exposure to styles yet. And if you read a book, there's a great book. I have to send you the title, which describes the history very well about the natural hair. You know, history basically. And they say that, you know, after the civil rights, when women were kind of tired of protesting and everything, they just wanted to go back to work and then comply by the rules. That's also a good explanation. I think that that will work as well. But I also see that it was a lack of styling, because when I went natural, I moved to New York at the right time, and I came and saw. I was at BAM Dance Africa, and for the first time in my whole life, as a black woman, as a black girl, as a black woman, I was surrounded. I was in an area where women predominantly had natural hair. You know what that does to you? You know, I was natural and I was looking for styles. I didn't really know what to do with my hair, just doing extensions. I didn't know how to style my hair. So you come into an environment and you see people with all kinds of styles like that's what my hair can actually do. It's I went ballistic into pictures, and that's where my book, Bad Hair Uprooted, comes from. Bad Hair Uprooted: The Untold History of Black Follicles. That's a photo book of pictures that I took, inspired me, because I thought if black women all over the world could see this, we wouldn't have that much damage. I don't even mind the relaxing as much. The damage is where I draw the line.
And it's more than the damage that you do to your physical hair, isn't it? It's tied also to your um, to racial awareness, accepting, and kind of just honoring who you are naturally, I think.
It is a big part, but it's very hard, it's very difficult to go there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Because
let's step in there for a few minutes.
yes,
I
because
know.
people, yeah, because many are in denial, and I was out, including me. I was in denial. I was obsessively, compulsively straightening my hair, almost beyond damage. You know, Up until that point, I was like, and that's where I draw the line. I mean, because women will say like, I love my hair, I love myself, I can do what I want with my hair, and that's very true. It's your prerogative, it's your absolute right, and we are women. You know, we want to try different things. The thing is, I think that had I known more you know, about the natural hairstyles and where they allowed in the workplace, and was it not such a big issue to wear natural hair, I might have still relaxed my hair, but I wouldn't have relaxed it beyond damage. So when I talk to people, I tell them like, of course you have the right to do with your hair whatever you want. But think about it. When you obsessively compulsively straightening your hair and it's breaking, you have to think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. Because it's like being in an abusive relationship with with your husband or with your partner or with whomever. You can say you love him, but he keeps beating you. Are you still going to love him? Are you still going to stay? You have to think about why you're doing that to yourself and to your hair. And there are women who really don't care, and today their hair is green, the next day it's purple, and they can be natural and they can have a weave tomorrow. You have those people too. They don't have hair issues. But what I've seen, if you look at the majority of what we're doing, and we're all responsible, 73% of black women, it's not 1%, it's not 2%, 73% of black women are suffering from what they call relaxer-induced alopecia,
Ooh.
which is damage caused by the way we treat our hair with relaxers and weaves.
Mm.
So that number should tell you something. I mean, 2% of white girls have bulimia, and there's a worldwide campaign,
Yeah.
right? 73% of black women suffer from relaxer-induced alopecia, and no one is talking about it.
Mm.
Black babies are born with the most hair on their head.
Mm.
By the time we are teenagers, we suffer the most hair loss. We
Mm.
have to face, we have to face this as a cultural issue.
Mm.
We have to be real about it. We can't be in denial about what we're doing to ourselves and to our children.
And there's the economics of it too. I mean, there's a huge industry out there, you know, making products for people to relax their hair and things like that, making money out of this um, often self-inflicted damage to our hair. So it's not just cultural; it's also economic as well.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When you look at the black hair industry, Black women are driving it, feeding it, and everything. We are the inventors, we are the creators, but who's earning the most money? Because nobody, you know, the white people then come to us like, here's how you weave or how you braid. The black women are inventors. I mean, and we are super smart because when we weren't allowed to wear our natural hairstyles in the workplace, we started to straighten our hair because we want jobs, right? But then
And
our
there
hair
were
gets,
laws that actually stopped us from wearing our hair natural.
yes, that's a big issue. Our hair is still not accepted in the workplace. There's a reason for, I always say, like, black women aren't stupid. We are basically the ones, who helped survive slavery. We were there, we did it all. So we are not stupid. We are more than survivors. We are thrivers. So that's what you see with our hair. We come with, we invent stuff, and then big companies come and they market it because they have more money, and then they get away with the industry. So we have to be more mindful about that too. At the Human Rights Commission, at the New York Human Rights Commission, I held a speech where I said, like, if you look at the damage that we do to ourselves, besides that, the economic damage that we do to ourselves, we spend 9 times more than any other ethnic group on our hair.
Wow.
The industry is a $9 billion business,
Wow.
or $6 billion business. So 2.4 billion a year from our community goes into hair that's mainly damaging us, and it's not coming to us, it's just taken from us. So we really have to be mindful about what we're doing with our hair and how we're spending, because it touches nearly every aspect of our lives.
Yeah. This discussion will be continued in the next episode.